All right, Sunday night live stream. Time to see out the weekend, maybe in chill style, and as usual. Because again, I don't know if people are showing up or not. It's a thing. It's optional. I don't hold people responsible. I'm going to start by making a talkie video. Let's go. I've done a shoot ton of print work for this one. And now I just have to do the talky stuff. In fact, I got to do a couple of teams. Okay. I'm thinking, I'm searching. Okay, what do we got going on here? There we go. Got that happening. Now, I'm going to do 2 coops. And we get okay. We are all good in this here hood. Actually, I do not need this anymore. It can go over here for now. Maybe here, slightly out of the way. I want my absinthe. And my phone. I just had a room call from Thune. Okay, so how much is normally in this? $1 1/4, 2.5, 3, yeah. About 90 mils. I got to think how to do this. Okay, absinthe. Actually, I know what I'm going to do now. I don't even know if anyone's watching. I'm thinking out loud. I should have scripted and prepared this, but I didn't. So I'm thinking it through as we speak. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put these over here now. Let them chill. Oh, I want my julep strainer for this, actually. Where is my julep strainer? It's over here. He said, a smart man would plan these things and script them. Not particularly claiming to be overly smart. Which is a lie, of course. I always talk about how smart. Do I talk about how smart I am? I have opinions. That implies I think I'm smart. Implied leader or implode? Okay, so those are ready, those are ready. I'm going to talk for a while, then mix the drinks. Okay, let's put this over here. There we go. Now, let's do that. Now, is this working? Yes, yes, yes. G'day, cocktail lovers. It's experiment time here in the bar and experimenting with things that aren't shaken fingers, you fuck. G'day, cocktail lovers. It's experiment time here in the bar and experiments that don't involve shaking cocktails. I have a dislocated finger and I don't really want to be shaking that around a lot. Long story, but don't worry. You should see the other guy. Other guys. There was at least 3 of them. I say at least 3 because they were ninjas, so it's very hard to be sure how many there were. But I gave them a seeing off, and I tell you what, they won't come around my bar again. I mean, unless they're here now. It's very difficult to tell with ninjas. The cocktail I'm experimenting with tonight is inspired by a bar in New York called Pouring Ribbons, and the name was what grabbed me first. If you use an unusual name, you will get my attention. This one is called My Dear Unfortunate Successor. Step. What are you doing? Treading really heavily down the hall. Sometimes the cocktail doesn't live up to the interesting names. I had to look at the ingredients. It included chocolate milk washed mezcal and some green chartreuse and an accent of absinthe. So I thought, those flavors, they're worth looking into. The way it's served in the bar seemed quite interesting. It's served in little teacups, and they do an absinthe wash in the cups. And one of the reasons they do in teacups, I think, is because of how the chocolate milk washed mezcal will look. Long story short, it's going to look like chocolate milk because the method is just mix some mezcal with some chocolate milk, let it stand for at least 45 minutes, then filter it to get any particles out. But you're not going to filter milk out. Oh, fuck, shit, can't. one of the reasons they'd be serving it in teacups is because of how it looks. It's going to look like chocolate milk because, long story short, the method is mix some mezcal and some chocolate milk and then strain it to get any particles out. But you're not going to strain out the chocolate milk no matter how fine your straining method is, I don't think. So it's going to look like chocolate milk. This is different to if you're fat washing a spirit or a cocktail, because when you do that to get the flavor of the oil or the fat, the standard thing is when you let it sit for a while, then you put it in the freezer or the fridge so the fat or oil solidifies and you scoop that off. But this isn't like that, it's milk. I guess you could freeze it for a while and then maybe some of the fat content from the milk would freeze. I may even try that another day if I particularly like this cocktail, might be worth exploring. But I did a simple filter, so it's going to look like chocolate milk. Incidentally, with the ratios, it was for a big batch. It was like saying, use a liter of mezcal. And I thought, okay, you're making a big batch. I'm not making a batch that big. But then they went, oh, and do it with 13 ounces of chocolate milk. I thought, why would you mix measurement scales, metric and imperial? Then I have to do maths. I don't know why they did this to me. I do take it personally. And, you know, if I ever get to New York, I'll have a word with them. The short answer is it's 3 parts mezcal to 3 parts mezcal to 1 part chocolate milk. Also, for fun, I decided to go a bit over the top. I made my own chocolate milk and I used cocoa, 100% cocoa, to get really strong chocolate flavors in there. And I also added malted milk powder. So I have chocolate malted milk going in mine. The people who know this channel well may go, oh, milk wash? Don't you want to do a milk punch? You love milk punch. I love milk punch, and I'm doing a clarified one as well. So it's a comparison. I'm going to have a milk washed version of this and a chocolate milk clarified version of this. As is usual for me with a clarified cocktail, I made a bit of a batch, not as big as they were saying, not a liter, but I did make a batch. So I'm going to tell you the ingredients for 1 serving as I pour this out, but I scaled it up. Also, the standard cocktail is a mix of the malted... Also, the standard cocktail is a mix of the chocolate milk washed mezcal and just some regular mezcal. Whereas for the batch one, it was just mezcal because it's going into some chocolate milk for some clarification. Also, the standard cocktail doesn't have citrus in it, and to milk clarify, my method is using an acid element, so I'll be using some orange juice, which is not in the base cocktail, so that's another difference between the two. So I mixed 2 ounces or 60 mils of mezcal with half an ounce or 15 mils of agave nectar, then half an ounce or 15 mils of vanilla syrup, and half an ounce of... So I mixed 2 ounces So I mixed up a scaled up version where the base would be 2 ounces of mezcal, half an ounce. Fuck. So I made a scaled up version. Fuck. I should have scripted this. I made a scaled up version, but the base would be 2 ounces of mezcal, that's 60 mils, then half an ounce or 15 mils. Oh, shit. I made a scaled up version, but for one serve, it would be 2 ounces of mezcal, added then 1 teaspoon. Jesus fuck tits. I did a scaled up version, but for one serve, it would be 2 ounces or 60 mils of mezcal, then around a bar spoon or 5 mils of green chartreuse, a bar spoon or 5 mils of agave nectar, a bar spoon or 5 mils of vanilla syrup, and I put the same amount of For clarification purposes, the orange juice I added was a third the volume of the mezcal. I added all of the. I gave that a bit of a stir, then added it to my chocolate malted milk. And the ratio I have there is about 4 parts of cocktail to 1 part of milk. That started to curdle pretty much straight away, but I let that sit while I prepared the milk wash. That started to curdle pretty much straight away, but I let it sit while I prepared my milk wash tequila, my milk wash mezcal. Fuck, shit, cunt. That started to curdle pretty much straight away, but I let it sit while I put together my milk wash mezcal. Like, as I said, 3 parts mezcal to a 1 part chocolate malted milk in my case. And yeah, it just looks like chocolate milk after you filter it. Stoop. Who's that? Finally, someone saying something in chat. Strictly Sega, is it? Hello. At work. Oh, Sophie, hello. Thank you for saying hello, Sophie. I always appreciate that. Okay, so now I want to pour this cocktail. All right. This goes over here. Shot glass. Where's my shot glass? Do 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 do. Oh God, I'm doing some crazy shit here. Start one. And this one. Oh, I made such a fucking mess that time. God damn it. Spilling expensive absinthe. Not cool, dude. Not cool. I'm going to sit that there. Jesus Christ. Okay. Bringing this back to here. And that goes on. Okay. do this. Right, just 90 mils of my clarified cocktail. This will fucking do. Probably want to start the camera. What a tool. Man, that actually tastes pretty good. Coop. Okay. Almost dropped my glass. That would not have been a great thing to do. Ooh, I can see the milk fat in that. Okay, let's do this again. Ooh, now, mezcal. Let's make this 1 1/4 ounces mezcal. Be strong. All right, let's freaking go with this. ¾ ounce. That will do. That will do, pig. That will do. What do I want? 5 mils of green chartreuse. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Mils of agave. Oops, no. 5 mils of vanilla sugar. This is going to be very sweet. Okay. No. Just a tiny bit more straining on this one. Do. Oh, there goes some ice. Ice everywhere. Ice capades. They're escaping. Man, this is tasting like a genuinely good drink. Okay. I just thought it'd be more than that. Okay. This over here. That's done. Got to take a thumbnail. Gotta take a photo for a thumbnail. Look at me being professional and remembering to do that. Who dares say I'm not professional? I mean, me usually, to be fair. Okie dokie. God, I don't remember things I've said and haven't said. This is why I should have scripted this. Am I gonna regret this whole thing? Maybe. Okay, let me go with this. Okay. That's ready. Okay. After about half an hour, I could see some good curdling happening, and I filtered that through a paper coffee filter. And the tip, as always, I give is the first amount that goes through will go through cloudy, because you need those curds to settle to the bottom of your paper filter. They do the hard work of clarifying. So you let it run through for a while until it's coming through clear, and then pour that first lot back through. Or alternatively, you can filter the entire cocktail more than once. When I had my beautifully clarified cocktail, all I did is add about 90 mils of that to ice to give it a stir for about 20 to 25 seconds so it's nice and chilled, and I strained that into a chilled coupe. There's an absinthe wash in this cocktail, and there's a few ways to do it. The way I like to do it is have ice in my glass to be chilling it, and I put about 1/4 ounce, 7.5 mils of absinthe in there just to get that flavor in there. And instead of tipping it out, I strain it into a shot glass, so I have the shot glass as a chaser after I have the cocktail. For the standard for the standard cocktail in a mixing glass, we put. I am so fucking confused. Okay, for the standard cocktail. For the standard cocktail in a mixing glass, we put about Jesus fuck. For the standard cocktail in a mixing glass, we put 1¼ ounces, 37.5 mils of mezcal. And then we add 3/4 of an ounce, around 22.5 mils of the chocolate milk washed mezcal. Then just 1 bar spoon, around 5 mils of green chartreuse, 1 bar spoon or 5 mils of agave nectar, and 1 bar spoon or 5 mils of vanilla syrup. And ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink. And I'm straining that into a chilled coupe. Like I said, the venue actually serves this chocolate milk washed version in a teacup, which I think is a nice touch. I went to put them in coupes to show off how clarified looks radically different to milk washed. I think these are a little too big, honestly, but that's by the by. Now, clarification usually softens flavors. So I think I need to taste this first because the flavors might be bigger in the milk washed version. So a little taste. That is really nice. That tastes like dessert. It mostly tastes like chocolate, but some of the smokiness of the mezcal is still in there. It's very smooth. It's turned into a cheeky dessert cocktail. What's the milk washed one like? I'm not surprised. The smoke from the mezcal is much stronger. This is a much earthier drink. And the chocolate comes through really well. There's a comparatively small amount of the chocolate compared to the other ingredients in here, but it's still a tasty chocolate one. Not that visually appealing. So as I said, I know why they serve it in teacups, but once we clarify it, it is visually appealing. And in comparison, this is one of those cases where I very much prefer the clarified version. The milk washed one is actually quite nice. It's a smoky chocolate drink, makes for a very interesting taste profile. This one is more like a chocolate dessert, and the earthiness of the mezcal and the smoke is more understated. They're both pretty good. And so this I call another successful milk clarifying experiment. I was drawn in first by the name, my dear unfortunate successor, then by the very interesting combo of ingredients, and finally, I was enticed to do a milk clarified version. I regret nothing. This was great. Look at me, back on my double fisting bullshit. Cheers to me. And I really hope that my finger heals up, but it's probably going to be like this for at least a few weeks. So stirred cocktails only for a while. Given they're my favorite, that is no hardship, but I will be making some more stuff. So I hope you come back and see what I'm doing. I hope you look after yourself as well. But until I see you again, I'll say cheers. That was a beautiful ringing chink. Okay, is there no one there, or is everyone bored by me talking? That must have been half an hour or more. Genuinely, I get it. It's a little self-indulgent of me to do that. But I'm a self-indulgent kind of guy. And actually, that's I've given myself a difficult editing job with that. If anyone's going, man, I feel like you're ignoring me doing all that, well, your revenge is I've made my life quite difficult with that. So, Strictly Said, you are there. Hello. It's nice of Soph to say hello before she had to work. So now I've got chocolate milk mezcal. All right. Chilling like a villain. Put a little bit more of that in there. Put this up here. Not gonna. Ooh, look at my absinthe chaser in the skull shot glass. I think I'll put that on ice to dull it down a bit more. Yeah, it's like I think people were just letting me talk. But look, now I'm not going to make any other videos. I'm just going to sit and chat. So anyone wants to do it? Oh, man, Safa. That's winning. Pulled pork mac and cheese. I like that. I like mac and cheese with extra stuff. And I like pulled pork, so that's a winning combo as far as I'm concerned. And another one of my microwave meals, it was the coconut butter chicken with rice, which is tasty. Young Mr. Angry moved in, and he saw I had these meals, and he's a gym guy, and he's going, "Oh, meals with extra protein. Can I have some of those?" So I ordered some extras for him. He's actually getting pretty. I mean, he's 6 foot tall. I don't know where that comes from. Because his mum's family are all short asses. I'm tall compared to his mum's family. Yeah. Saf, how's the pain in finger? Thank you so much for asking. I woke up twice during the night going, fuck, that really hurt. So I don't know if I'd been lying on the finger or I'd been bending it at a funny angle while I was asleep or I hit it. But twice I woke up. I didn't wake up going, oh, I'm in pain. I just woke up and I was going, this finger fucking hurts. And the pain today has been all over the place. Sometimes not at all. Most of the time, just a consistent dull ache, which is what I'm getting now. And occasionally, fairly sharp, intense pain. In short, 0 stars, would not recommend. I fucking hate it. And yeah, it's bullshit. Oh, I've got painkillers. In fact, I've got some very out of date codeine painkillers. Whether they were working or not, I don't know. I also don't want to use too many of them. Like this is stuff that literally, the use before date was 2009 because you haven't been able to get these since about then, which, as I regularly mention, is entirely AIDS's fault when they realized the volume of codeine painkillers that were being sold in Australia was so out of whack, and it was all AIDSy. This is Quaaludes. Aren't Quaaludes tranquilizers? So are you worried about my expired painkillers? I mean, I think the worst thing would be that maybe they don't work. I am not a drugs expert, so I don't know if there's any reduction in efficacy if they're very old. They don't grow mold or anything. Oh, Quaaludes, expired painkillers. Yeah, I think Quaaludes were a big recreational drug in the 70s. And I think they're tranquilizers. Not being a huge expert on 70s drug culture because I was too young. Yes, even I was young once. That time was the 1970s. I remember to hold my finger up because it throbs if I hold it down. That's right. Yes, Strictly Sega, the Wolf of Wall Street. He takes ridiculous amounts of Quaaludes. And yeah, they are tranquilizers. Yeah, in terms of abuse, recreational use of Quaaludes, I think that was a very American thing. I don't know that it was ever a big thing here. All right. Put another log on the fire. Pour my chocolate clarified drink onto ice and some more orange peel. Just for funsies. Because you know what we like on the Angry Channel? We like funsies. And one more, I think. I can squeeze this tomorrow and have some blood orange juice. Maybe make another cocktail with it. I don't know. Hey, Justin, how you doing? Oh, and not forgetting being nice to me and having some cherries. Because that's how I do. Ooh, the last ones are always squishy, a mess. It's like the substandard ones sink to the bottom. Or do they get squished the whole time when I'm stabbing things? And it's not their fault. I actually squished them. One of the mysteries of the universe that I will probably never know the answer to. Anyways. Anyhow, have a Winfield. Jude, hello. Listening expired meds. Ooh, that's quitter talk. If I die in the meantime, yes, I was warned. I was warned about my expired pain meds. Oh, for some reason, I'd forgotten that drink was chocolate flavored. And so then I had another sip of it and it's like, ooh, chocolate flavored. Nice. So Josie, moving on the 16th of December. Okay, another month out. Yes. Died from complications from a dislocated finger. Oh God, I was on a whole rant today. At one point, I was like, I'm going to book in to see the GP I usually do to see if he thinks this person's done the right thing. And Mrs. Angry always looks things up for me, even when I don't ask her to. She like goes, we should have some more information on that. And she found from a hospital website, like a reputable hospital website, they talked about like, yeah, if you have a dislocated finger, it means this. And the thing we usually do is a buddy strap. So it was a GP that I saw that did this. And just because I was complaining for a while, because non-stop pain, even low level, is something I'm not used to, and I do not like it. But I kind of calmed down and thought, well, the recommendation that I got at the urgent care center was go see the GP in a couple of weeks. The recommendation from this hospital website is keep it strapped up for a couple of weeks. So I thought, calm down. It's probably fine. Maybe if the level of pain doesn't go down this week, I'll book my regular GP in later in the week. Oh no, Jude, it's only throbbing if I hold it down, and that always happens because the blood goes down. If I do this, it doesn't. It's not wrapped too tight. My fingertips not going blue. I was getting this false pain signal earlier, and the finger felt cold. You see, this finger is completely wrapped up. And I was getting the sensation that it was cold and I couldn't do anything about it. And it was really frustrating. And I realized after a while, well, that's a completely false pain signal because that finger's completely wrapped up. Justin, you're getting overwhelmed thinking of Christmas coming about the time you move? My answer is don't give a shit about Christmas. I mean, I have a little family get together, but nothing big. Yes, Tricky Sega, constant toothache. But you know what? I keep going glass half full with this. And like I said, win that I did it to my left hand, not my right hand. Win that it's a dislocation rather than a major break or anything. And I also realized I was thinking about it because this pain is right in the joint. And I can't really move it. And I realized this is basically the sort of pain that Aidsy was having in every single joint in his body every day since he was 30 and he got rheumatoid arthritis. So I thought, buck up, sunshine. Things could be much worse. I'm going to add a little bit more to this, just for funsies. Because you know what I like? I like funsies. Just a little. Oh, this is urine sample. This person needs to hydrate more. They might even have a urinary tract infection. Speaking of going to see your GP. Oh, yeah, strictly saying it is definitely okay to take Christmas off. God, Justin with the crazy talk, driving Sunshine Coast to Melbourne. Well, dude, I can't rest the fingers on ice while they're bandaged up. The bandage will just get wet and gross. It's fine. And again, I always remind myself I'm also a complete wuss with pain. So the fact I'm not lying on the ground screaming means the pain's not that bad. So it's just that it's constant. Oh, in a bag, not on dry ice. You'd still get condensation. I don't really want to get the. Oh, I'm sorry. Do something gross. There was second dinner. There was some chicken stuck between my teeth, and it was annoying me. Just being gross on stream for something different. But you know, man, okay. That chocolate drink is yummy. It is true, Justin. You're more in control with driving than booking flights. But the whole thing about Sunshine Coast to Melbourne, very long and dangerous drive, particularly at or around Christmas, is the most dangerous time of all to be doing long drives. But you do you. Take it under advisement. But yes, I mean, but that's the sort of drive I was working out, what's that, 1,600 kilometers, 18 to 20 hours driving with no, and of course, you'd want to take breaks, so it's like a 2-day thing. Oh, John Laws died. Well, he had been looking like The Walking Dead for quite a few years. So I'm not surprised. Oh, trivia. Years ago in Sydney, I had a post box at the GPO, and it turns out my GPO post box number was the same as John Laws's post office box at North Sydney Post Office, because I once got an invitation to an event addressed to John Laws, and it was to my post office box, GPO. And I actually went and looked up his details online, and he had the same number post office box, but in North Sydney, not the GPO. Yeah, 90 years a pretty good innings. Yeah, well, Tricky say listening to you on the way to work. God, Laws, what he was doing radio since the 70s, yeah? Or even before that? Graham Richardson died. Nobody cares. I can't even remember what party he was. He was such a stooge. He was Labour, wasn't he? And then he just had all these really conservative ideas. Oh, and the drummer from Squeeze also died. There you go. Trixie, you reckon he's been doing it since the 50s? Let's look him up. When did his career start? Retired Australian radio announcer. Yes, died 9th November. 35 to 25. Yeah, he cleared 90. A career spanning 71 years. Holy crap. Early life. He was born in Papua New Guinea. Fancy that. He contracted polio twice. That's unlucky. Once as a child, again as a young man. Early career. Began his radio career in 1953, 71 years, Jesus, ago. 3BO in Bendigo, rural radio stations until joining a metro station in 1957. Jesus, almost 70 years at Metro Radio. He was one of the first Australian disc jockeys to play rock and roll. Pioneered the practice of using contacts at airline industry to supply him with international pop releases. Yeah, because stuff used to take often 6 months to get released in Australia. So yeah, if you knew someone who was on an international flight, they could pick something up for you and you'd have it months before anyone else. So he's married 3 times. His first marriage went from 57 to 64. Second marriage, 65 to 74. Well, he probably jumped into that a bit quickly. And then to Carolyn Laws from 76 until her death in 2020. The last one stuck. So 7-year marriage, a 9-year marriage, and then it's that 40-odd year marriage lasted till his spouse died. He was a weirdie. John Laws was an absolute weirdie, honestly. Oh, yes, the guitarist from... People are always dying. Yes. Oh, God, the Valvoline ads. But yeah, he had just such a recognizable voice. Oof. Okay, I'm going to have to make a note. This chocolate milk clarified mezcal drink is right up there with my favorite clarified cocktails. Oh, that's just really tasty. Noise. What a nice treat that is. It's just got a really rich texture and it's not sickly sweet, but it's got a really chocolatey flavor. So it's just a classy boozy, and it does not taste boozy. There is a reasonable amount of booze in there. It does not taste boozy. It just tastes smooth and chocolatey, which again, it is always the danger with clarified cocktails, or even just when someone makes something with vodka and fruit juice. It's like, that doesn't taste like alcohol. So it is easy to drink too much of it. Okay, my fingers are starting to hurt again. It just goes in and out how much the... So, Graham Richardson was on the radio business in the 90s. He and John Laws and Alan Jones all got in trouble. That's right. They were secretly taking bribes to promote certain things, indulging in criminal behavior. Lying to people, just for fun. Also, I appear to be losing my voice a little, and I don't know why. I noticed it when I was making that video. I feel like I'm a bit croaky. I don't feel like I'm coming down with anything. I'm waving the hand around a bit. Probably. I need to remember to, probably just keep it up. It's like, which comes back to my favorite story. God, the radiologist wanted to know why this finger was crooked when I got smashed in high school. But that was funny when it was all bandaged up and sticking out like that. So I was just walking, and I had to keep it up because if I down, it would throb. So I'm walking around school like this. So if there's no break in the skin, there's no infection, there's a dislocated knuckle. So Yes, a warning sign would be if it felt hot, but it is, yeah, it's just fucking ouchy. Constant throbbing pain. Yeah, it might just be a sore throat. Who knows? Justin, it's quite variable, the delay between you typing a thing and it coming up on screen and then me seeing it and thing. So, yeah, it's sometimes if it's weirding you out, the level of delay, sometimes if you refresh your browser, it fixes it a bit. Absolutely true, Jude. You don't need broken skin for an infection. Oh, and of course, that's the thing that kills a lot of people, internal infections. Gets into your bloodstream, blood goes septic. But again, a telltale of that, particularly with knuckles, was inflammation. And again, feeling hot. It doesn't feel hot. It just fucking hurts. It's like it keeps telling my brain, hey, that bit is injured. You need to protect it. And I'm like, you know what? I've actually got the message uh, that it's hurt. You could actually switch off the pain receptors now if you like. But of course, what would happen then, because it's in a tender state, if I didn't have the pain things going off, I'd get too casual and I'd probably bash it against something and worsen the dislocation. No, the drink doesn't make me lose. I could tell there was a bit of croakiness before I had anything to drink. Bobo there had a chronic infection. Nothing left in the world that would kill it. Damn. No, I was not fine when I was making the cocktail. I could feel my voice being a bit croaky when I was making the video. Uh, mm. Ah, lovely icy water. Well, I've still got my absinthe. Put that on ice. That's a serious drink. Laws made it public that Alan Jones was gay. Everyone freaking knew, though. So, yeah. Are you reading the wiki? I think Alan Jones got a bit angry when it became broader knowledge that he was gay. He thought it would affect his career. So, and also because he was preaching to conservatives as well. I'm sure he was worried that his bogan listeners would reject him because a significant number of them are really homophobic. Coldest November day in Melbourne for a long time. Yeah, it was. So Strick said you didn't know till he had the class action from 20 men going, oh, yeah, because he definitely sexually assaulted a lot of men, abused his position. Was it? Oh, God, there's a big thing back in the 80s. He got busted toilet trading in London. And this is the thing, and I stick with it's bullshit that he was arrested for trying to pick up in a public toilet. It's just like, consenting adults, etc., is fine. And I don't jump on he's a horrible, awful being. Like, no, I mean, Jones was a horrible, awful person, and his sexual preferences were nothing to do that. The way he abused his position of influence to pressure, if not straight up sexually assault young men, is different. Oh yeah, no, that you can see the mark. I face planted when this happened. I slipped, tripped, and just dived into the ground, and I fucking face planted. My face hit the ground quite hard. Scratched my glasses too. But yeah, there's an abrasion here. There's a less obvious one down here. Didn't come up in bruises actually. I thought it might. That would have been spectacular if my face bruised up. I've got a weird sort of faint bruise on the palm of my hand. Didn't break the skin, but there is some impact marks. So there's like little internal contusions. Didn't actually break the skin. This one, few scrapes on the back of it. I don't know how I got it on the back. I have no idea how I fell like this, but it was a fucking spectacular fall. I was saying this last night. I don't think I've ever fallen like that in my life. I don't know, Jude. It was like 36 hours ago that I fell. If there's no significant bruising now, I don't think there's going to be. Yeah, not an expert, but I'm pretty confident the fact there's no significant bruising yet means there won't be any significant bruising. Time will tell, though. Ow, my finger hurts. I'm just going to randomly complain from time to time. God, it's such a focused pain. It's just the intensity of it varies. It's just there almost all the time. There are a few periods today when, oh, just at this moment, I feel no pain at all. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, no, now it hurts again. I have to drink. Speaking about self-medicating, drink every time I'm in pain. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add my other blue drink to that blue drink just for fun. Shits and giggles. Why do we invented that term? Doing something just for shits and giggles. Because it's a very weird phrase. I watched the Netflix Frankenstein movie today. It's not bad. It's very sort of trying to stay true to the whole gothic horror thing. Not bad at all. Oscar Isaacs being as dashing as ever. What's his name? Jacob Elordi? Is that his name? The young Australian guy who's weirdly tall. It's kind of like if they want someone in a movie, particularly to be a monster type character, but someone to be unusually tall, they get either Jacob Elordi or Bill Skarsgård. Because they're both just into the weird tall territory. Because I was watching, because I didn't know Jacob Elordi was the creature in it, and I was watching it going like, is that a CG tallness or is that a real tall person? I didn't know who was playing the monster, so I looked it up, and it was Jacob Elordi, and I went, oh no, it's just he's real. He was cast for his height. Also, because he's a good actor. Sorry, we should add that as well. But yeah, I think that is worth watching, that Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro directed. I never watched his animated Pinocchio, actually. I heard that was actually pretty good. But yes, he certainly made some good films, though, Guillermo. But, and we also finished season 3 of Slow Horses. Mrs. Anger and I were up to the last episode. We watched that before I came on stream, before she went and had a Zoom call with her brother in England. Again, every time I've got to say, Slow Horses, great series, very, very good. Good characters, good actors, led by Gary Oldman, who's very good. Did you like Boris Karloff's comment? How many times he played Frankenstein despite the uncomfortable makeup? 3 and 3 only. Yeah, I'm not sure when the first time there was a movie Frankenstein with the square head. Was it Boris Karloff's one? Because that was a whole thing defined in the 20th century. That's what Frankenstein's monster looked like. Had a squared off head. Whereas Jacob Elordi's one didn't have the squared off head, but there was just like scars all over. It was very good makeup. I'm assuming it was physical makeup. It's always possible. Sometimes people do weird shit with computer generated effects, but I think it's physical makeup. Safi, you watched the first episode, Mayor of Kingstown. Yeah, we only watched one episode of it and we just weren't feeling it. Which is interesting because it's run for multiple seasons. I think it's still live. I don't think it's cancelled yet. But we watched it and it was just like, not doing it for me. So we only watched the one episode of Mayor of Kingstown. But again, there's so much. And what are we coming up on? Some new ones. Season 2 of Ted Danson series, Man on the Inside, on Netflix is soon. Season 1 of that was very fun. Season 2 of Fallout is in December. I don't think I'm going to rewatch season 1 of Man on the Inside because I think season 2 is completely unrelated to season 1, just the same character. But Fallout is going to be a continuation. So I talked to Mrs. Angry and we agreed we're going to rewatch season 1 of Fallout before we watch season 2. Jude, the original Frankenstein movie is 31. But was that Frankenstein's monster? Was that the square head look? Because it's not described as such in Mary Shelley's book. That was a Hollywood invention. The square head look dates back to 1931. Almost 100 years of square head Frankenstein's monster. There you go. Oh yes, that's another one to look out for, Safa. Season 2 of Ashoka. Give Hayden Christensen some work again. Maybe bring Anakin back. I thought they did some fun stuff with Ashoka. Just very interesting, and the blue guy as well, which was like the expanded universe character, not from any of the movies. So, yeah, I think friggin' Ashoka deserves it. Oh, Strictly Say 11, all the shows. I think I saw another one. Not, I think. I know I saw another one. Now I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, that's his name, Safa Thrawn. Yeah. There's a British sort of cop mystery thing called Vigil. Is very interesting. I've seen season 1 of Vigil. And I think season 2 is about to come out on SBS. Interestingly, it's not on any of the streaming services. It's just coming on to SBS soon. That's pretty good. I love that statement, Safa. He's the only alien in the Imperial Command. But, they're all aliens. Dude, they gave an explanation about why they decided to make it square. Something to do with adding height. The rest of it is just a more unnatural appearance. Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's a good look. But, yeah, Shelley's description is not that unnatural, but it's like stitched together pieces. And they did that. There was a version where Robert De Niro played the monster and he had all the stitches over it. And That's how Jacob Lordy looks in the Netflix one. Safa Palpatine was alienist. But that's the fun thing. Like, I mean, and again, that's them basically going, the Empire are Nazis, guys. Do you get it? They're the fascists. They're white. They are the space version of white supremacists. Um, uh, and that's why they're so homogenous, because, they're fascists. And they always have been. Like George Lucas doing the original Star Wars trilogy, he saw the Empire as any imperial army, whether it be American, British, or something else. But he was seeing the rebels using tactics. He saw them as like the Viet Cong in the Vietnam War, using guerrilla tactics to fight against a much larger imperial army. Like, he has explicitly said that in interviews. The rebels are the Viet Cong. I don't think he goes so far as to say the Empire is America. The Empire are Nazis. But just, I want to say it again, my finger fucking hurts at the moment. Super annoying. This is the main thing about this, is it's annoying. It is annoying the fuck out of me. This constant radiating pain from the knuckle. And again, it's not severe because I am a super fucking wuss with pain. And yet, strictly saying, I have to drink again because I mentioned the pain. I drink to forget the pain. I drink to wash away the pain. Is alcohol bad for pain? Alcohol numbs pain. Alcohol generally is bad. Alcohol's not bad for pain. Alcohol is a bad choice for pain relief. Alcohol can be effective for pain relief. It's just a bad choice for it because alcohol generally is bad. Despite how much of it I drink, I refuse to pretend alcohol is not bad. It is a poison. It's just a poison I like the effect of. So you can say that's why in Westerns, give them a bottle of whiskey before they remove the bottle, which again is ridiculous because the effects of the whiskey take half an hour to kick in. It's like, hey, take a hit of whiskey. Now I'm going to pull a bullet out. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. I'm not instantly numb. I need to drink constantly for half an hour, and then you can do it. And you'll still feel the pain, but you're less able to react to it. All right, time for something non-alcoholic, as I say this. Which will it be? Which one of these is there a few of? This one. Passion fruit and pineapple. I haven't had that for a while. Let's have some passion fruit and pineapple. Dude, alcohol. Yes, vacillator. Give someone with a bullet wound booze, they're more likely to bleed. Absolutely true. But they often do it anyways. Like anything to. It detaches you from the pain. It's not like you don't feel the pain, but you can effectively be detached from it. You don't care about it. But yes, in short, alcohol, not medication. It's a very bad idea to treat alcohol like medication, even though we talk about self-medicating. All it does is dull physical and emotional pain. It doesn't treat it. It doesn't make it go away. Ooh, angry trying to be socially responsible. Safa, no, pickles, gross. Gross. Blech. Blech. Pickle is gross. Yes, true. So you definitely don't get medical tips from old westerns. There was like a meme tweet from years ago that I thought was hilarious. It's like, man, being a doctor in the old west would be wild because you just make shit up. You go, yeah, what's happening? I think you got ghosts in your blood. You should do heroin about it. or laudanum, as they would do at the time. Justin, sorry, Jude. Ancient Chinese surgeons used some kind of drink. That would have been opium, I think. I love the stories. Cultural anthropologists try to work out, like, where did we do this? Because we see this today. Animals like eat fermented fruit and get drunk, and people go, "What's that about? I want to try that." Or animals eat poppy and get all trippy, and people go, "What's that about? I want to do that." And yeah, like animals eat coffee beans, then start pinging all over the place. It's like humans see animals do something and it has a weird effect, and they go, "I want to go." I like this one too. Yeah, your inner Celtic is speaking up. Um, it's very bright and yellow. Look at that, and it's a blue drink. It's a nice shirt, and it's quite different to any of my other ones, which is why I got it, because it was so different to any others. Ooh, I had my fingers down. Dogs eat grass. Is that to make themselves throw up, like it's abrasive on their throat? That's what I think I remember, that dogs eat grass so they throw up if they've eaten something bad and they know there's something bad in their tummy. So Jute marula fruit. Fantastic drunken animals video from the 60s, 70s showing that. Oh, you can find, there's been relatively recent stories from like Scandinavia of a drunken moose stuck in a tree because it ate some fermented fruit that had fallen off it and really liked it and tried to climb up the tree to get some more, and then it's just kind of got. Now I'm going to find a picture. So we do an internet search for drunk moose in tree. Yep, this is the famous one. Check this out. Let me show my screen. Google image search for drunk moose in tree. Yeah, it basically you see all the pictures of it. It ate some fermented fruit and got drunk and liked it and wanted to get more and got itself stuck in a tree. Hilarious. I love it. But yes, there's as I said, cultural anthropologists. I love the theories of how things happen. Like there is there's a theory that how did someone come up with cheese? And there's a theory that someone was using, like, a drink bladder was actually made from an animal's stomach, which is a thing that people did like in medieval times, and they had milk in it and they were carrying it to the next town. They were like riding a horse, and there was still some rennet in the lining of I think it was like a sheep's stomach they're proposing, and the milk and that uh, mixed, and it curdled and started to ferment, and they got to their end and their milk's gone solid, like it's like cottage cheese, and they go, "Oh," and they put it out and they went, "But that tastes okay. Okay, how did that happen?" And then there was experimentation, and they worked out how to make cheese out of milk. That's a theory. It's there's no written history. It's impossible to know how people made cheese, but that's a pretty fun theory. It's like all the things about alcohol and drugs. It's theorized that it's from humans seeing animals eat this plant matter, and mushrooms as well, like eating particular mushrooms and going, I think, no, Jude, that's cheese, not butter. Butter you just get from whipping milk. You mix milk for long enough, it turns into butter. Um, Cheese is you actually get the curdling happening, and that's the rennet. And rennet was used, and I think still is used to make cheese. So, yeah, butter is you just churn milk for a long time and it turns into butter. Well, again, pre-pasteurization, all milk had cream in it. So you just churn it and it turns into butter. But the cheese thing, is curdled. And yeah, there's this theorizing that it was from rennet, from an animal stomach, that it was used as a drinking bladder. But again, it's theorizing. Like, we do not definitively know why cocktails are called cocktails. There are theories and different variations of the theory of how mixed drinks got called cocktails. Different ones are more in vogue at different periods in history, but there was never a written record that said, oh, mixing this beverage is known as a cocktail for this reason. At a certain point, it was just acknowledged that a mixed drink was a cocktail, and it ended up in the dictionary. But there is no written record of why we call it a cocktail. Because sometimes us humans are just too fucking casual, really. We don't think at all about future generations wanting to know why you're calling a thing a particular thing. But you study some classical works and you do find some things. Like, one of my favorites, because I did theatre, we did a lot of Shakespeare. I forget which play it was, but it was one that had Falstaff in it. And they talked about making someone eat a pie made of their humbles, because the modern term is making someone eat humble pie, and it's basically making someone admit they were wrong, accept some humility. But the original saying was actually like cutting someone's ghoulies off and putting them in a pie. That was their humbles, and putting it in a pie and making them eat it. Pretty nasty, actually. Well, okay, Justin, does it have something to do with cocks? There was one theory that it was because a garnish maybe looked like a rooster's tail, as in a cock tail. That explanation fell out of vogue. The current favorite theory is about horses of mixed blood, and there was something they do when they were for sale, when they weren't purebred. The horse's tail would be cut in a way that it was cocked up. So it was a cocktail, and that was a mixed breed horse. And so a mixed drink was a cocktail drink. Jude, numble pie was the heart, lungs, and other offal from a deer. But again, the Shakespearean reference is making someone eat their bits that have been cut off in a pie. And again, you're just saying there was a numble pie was awful, but again, but why do we say humble pie? And like I said, I'm tracing that back to a Shakespearean reference, where they talk about making a person eating a pie of their humbles, and it's essentially, yeah, someone's been tortured and had their bits cut off and put into a pie. So also, I'm only drinking mineral water at the moment, but at the moment my finger fucking hurts. God damn it. I fucking hate this. Will I take more expired pain meds before bedtime? Maybe. Didn't fucking help last night, actually. Because, as I said, I woke up several times going, ow, I'm in pain. And then I ended up sleeping in this morning because I first woke up when it was about 7. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was talking with Mrs. Angry, and I mentioned that I'd woken up a couple times during the night, and my hand just fucking hurt like fuck. And yeah, no, it really fucking hurt. And then I fell back asleep and I woke up and like Mrs. Angry was gone and it was like 9:30. So I'd slept for another couple of hours. And I think that was probably because my sleep had been interrupted by waking up. Like, oh, okay. Now the pain's just going, and I don't know. There is there has been experiments that show uh, if you swear, you can tolerate more pain. So I just got my fucking hand, fucking hurts, fuck this, I fucking hate this fucking shit. Jude, I get where you're going, but again, with these archaic terms, it is impossible to be sure. And like I said, I'm telling you, there's a very specific Shakespearean reference where they talk about making someone eat a pie of his humbles, and they clearly mean cutting his bits off and putting them in a pie. So, but we do not know for sure. Like there is subjective interpretation of these historical terms. And again, you're saying the number pies, but why is that called number pie, etc. Blah 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 blah. But you know, cultural history is malleable. Is all I'm going to say. Well, it's not all I'm going to say. I'm going to talk at length because that's the thing I do. Uh, talk at length on a variety of topicals. Jude, maybe Shakespeare was having fun and just saying about nasty things. But again, whenever anyone says, oh, Shakespeare invented all these terms, me being a pedant, I always feel compelled to correct them and say it is more accurate to say that our earliest written record of that terminology is in a Shakespeare play. We have no way of knowing that Shakespeare invented those things because, again, Shakespeare was writing a lot of his stuff, he's writing for the common people. So he would have been using the slang, the memes of the day in his work. And because we have a pretty good record of his written works, so we have a good record of terms that were in use. It doesn't, like, people go, oh, Shakespeare invented it. And I was going, maybe he invented some of it, maybe he invented a lot of it, but it also would not particularly make sense for him in his plays, which were popular entertainment. They were not highbrow stuff, as well written as they are, and they are incredibly well written. They were popular entertainment, and it would not make sense for his popular entertainment to include terminology that the common people would not understand. So it is much more likely that all these terms that Shakespeare used were in general use in society at that time, but his plays are our oldest written record of their usage. And here endeth this little bit of angry pedantry. Safa, no. The commoners weren't reading in Shakespeare's time. There was like no education. Safa, and yes, when I say bits, I mean balls. Yes. So, Stricky, so you've got nicotine patches. Bonus feature. You have smooth, non-hairy shoulders now. Nice. Cliff Jumper. Hello. It's doing the old names on thing, Madam Butterfly. Hello. Yes, it is morning for you. Definitely. Again, strictly Sega, it is impossible for us to know all these terms that appear, and there are a freakish number of these terms that we use now that our oldest written record is in Shakespeare plays, and it's incredible how it's mind blowing how many phrases from Shakespeare plays we still use, and the Shakespeare plays are our earliest written record of those terms. But like I said, because his plays were popular entertainment and he's playing to the cheap seats a lot of the time, it would not make sense for his plays to include a lot of terms that he invented, because the audience wouldn't know what the fuck he was on about. It's much more likely he was like, he's a fucking meme lord. He's the meme lord of his day. He had his finger on the pulse of all the slang, all the terms, and he was spicing up his incredibly well-written plays with gutter level jokes, basically. I will always come back to, I think it's Much Ado About Nothing. It's one of the comedies with characters cross-gender playing and being in disguise and confused lovers and all this sort of thing. And they're trying to set up one guy who's, the comedic characters are trying to set up this one guy who's a jerk to make him think his lady who he serves has the hots for him, and they fake a love letter to him, and he's reading the letter and he's sure it's from her. He goes, I recognize the writing. These be her very C's, her U's, and her T's. And in case you miss the joke, one of the comedic characters kind of repeats to the audience, he can see her C, U, and T. So again, a core thing. That thing on Google saying Shakespeare created 1,700 words is lazy and inaccurate phrasing. It's not your lazy and inaccurate phrasing. It's a lot of people's lazy and inaccurate phrasing. Like I said, it comes back to Shakespeare is our oldest written record of an incredible amount of language. So, and yes, Laura, when you're saying that stuff about him playing stuff to the cheap seats, that's not Much Ado About Nothing. Okay, I'm trying to remember which of the comedies where there's all the cross-gender stuff and twins, and it's not Love's Labour's Lost. If it's not Much Ado About Nothing, people wrote thousands of years before Shakespeare. But it's just Shakespeare's plays were incredibly popular, and they were published in what's called folios, and some of those survive, and they become the oldest written records of a lot of phrases and words in the English language. But again, it does not make sense to assert that he invented those, because if they were completely new to his audience wouldn't know what the fuck was going on. Shakespeare was not a noble. No, he was not. He was reasonably well off. No, it's not the Comedy of Errors. Okay, let's just see how good's my Google foo. Shakespeare play with mistaken identity and twins. Oh, it's Twelfth Night. It's Twelfth Night. Yes. The play I was thinking of was Twelfth Night. So sorry, I inhaled while I was drinking my mineral water. That was a fucking mistake. Oh, good God. Yeah, I'm a diehard Shakespeare fan. The writing is so good. The tragedies. Here's the thing: the tragedies and the comedies get all the attention. He also did the histories. And the one that blew my fucking mind because I had always no, Safa, Shakespeare did not create modern English. Um, um, so, when I'd been at uni, so always concentrated on the comedies and the tragedies, but he did the histories as well. Kenneth Branagh did a film version of Henry V, which most people say is one of the best of the histories. And I remember when I watched the film version, there were a dozen turns of phrase in this one that we still use today. And every time one of them did it, a character would say something, and I was just like, fuck me, we still say that today. And that to me is incredible. The continuity of language there. Safa, Shakespeare was writing in modern English. He absolutely, definitely did not invent modern English. But yes, I think certainly in my lifetime, whatnot, people go like, "Oh, Shakespeare goes like good." It's school kids have been cursed by bad teachers. When I was at uni, I had some incredibly good lecturers and tutors who were extremely good at bringing these texts to life. But if you get taught Shakespeare by a bad teacher, you're going to fucking hate it. So you can say you're saying Shakespeare wrote during the transformation of English, 1500s, 1600s, between Middle English. Yeah. Yeah. You want the fun one. You get another very famous work of English literature. Oh God, I've blanked on it now. It's the Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales was written in Middle English. Now, a lot of it gets studied now, translated into modern English. SBS. I watched this years ago. SBS screened. I don't think it was made for SBS. I think it's probably made for the BBC. But SBS screened this thing, an animated adaptation of the Canterbury Tales, Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, and it was in Middle English. Fucking wild. You watch it and it's like, what the fuck? Because you can kind of, sort of understand them, but not really. And you go, are these guys all drunk? What the fuck are they saying? Laurie, you like Kenneth Branagh's movie of Much Ado. It's got Keanu, Denzel, Emma Thompson, Richard Briers, even Brian Blessed. Yeah, Kenneth Branagh did a few good Shakespeare film adaptations, basically. And Sophie, you're right. For a long time in England, upper classes spoke French because of the Norman invasion. When that April with his showers go, the daughter of March. Okay, what have you picked up there? Whose writing is that? Strictly Sega. That is sounding very Middle English. Wait, I don't even have the Discord open. Jesse's telling me he's put something in. Good. I want to know what's on the Discord. What is on the Discord? Do. Right. What the hootin' heck? Memes and jokes. Earthwall. Photoshop thingy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So just saying Democrat. Oh, you're Democrats are poor pals. Yes, the Democrats did do well in a few elections in the last week in the US. All right, your pals in Democrats abroad are very keen. Yeah, I mean, I am definitely interested in what happens in the old midterms next year. Well, that's an interesting bit of trivia, Safa. Russian royals spoke French, but also there was a long period where the Russian royals weren't Russian, and Jude saying Richard the Lionheart didn't speak English. Oh, okay, yeah, you did get something from the Canterbury Tales, strictly speaking. I thought you might be doing that. Just you studied Shakespeare, you found a modern English version, you can understand it. Yeah, it's yeah, we're being very educational tonight. We're highbrow motherfuckers here talking about the real shit. Uh, mm. Um, when we did a version of Twelfth Night when I was at uni, I was, I guess, in the crew side of it. I wasn't in the play. I was helping them with some things, but there was a thing with the staging where it was kind of meta. There would be a bit before the show where everyone was like actors setting up and whatnot, and then at an intermission, we'd also mingle with the audience when they were out taking a break, getting a coffee, like we were traveling players doing things. And I was doing it in character to all these people talking and going, and the director, who was one of my lecturers, he saw me just interacting with these people, and he just reached out to me and said, "A poem, sir, a poem." Like telling me to make up a poem on the spot. I was like, fuck you, Bill. What the fuck? You didn't tell me you were going to do that. It was fun though. Laura, you're going to do less highbrow. You grilled a chicken for 2 hours. Still. Oh, dead joke. I grilled the chicken for 2 hours and it still didn't tell me why it crossed the road. Justin, your Democrats abroad 3 times as many votes. Well, keep fighting the good fight. Yeah, no, dude, old school rap battle. I was trying to get. Noog, how are you doing, man? Nice to see you. I think I get to give you an explanation for this because you haven't been on. Because I'm in fucking pain at the moment. I fell over the other day. I slipped in the rain and face plant on the road and fucking dislocated my little finger, my pinky. And so to mend it, it's this is called a buddy strap. It's strapped to my thing. Yeah, I have to do another drink. Strict say, we kind of agreed to that. Laura, I did really appreciate the joke, as you can tell. Rain's still there. Okay, sharing something crazy from Facebook. What is it? Oh, it's a video, I think. AI puts ads inside movies. I don't know what that is. I don't want to watch it. This is fine. Yes, Noog, ow is the word. I am in constant pain at the moment. Just the intensity of it varies. But I did promise to. I don't know if I promised. I think just Strictly Sega told me I had to drink if I mentioned my pain. Laura, could have been worse. Could have been your finger that got dislocated. There's there's an old Mel Brooks quote describing the difference between comedy and tragedy. Say, tragedy is when I sprain my finger. Comedy is when you fall into an open sewer and break your neck. So it's like it's funny when it happens to someone else, and it's bad when it happens to me. Look, a lot less embarrassing how you did yours. Dislocated left pinky. Try. Oh, it's so easy to fuck up a finger trying to catch a ball. Like I've been talking recently about Mrs. Angry and I. A lot of Sundays recently, we've been going to a local lawn bowls club, getting taught how to do lawn bowls. And at one point, when someone rolled a ball back to me at pace, I put my hand down to stop it, and it bent my fingers back, and I thought, "Oh, okay, listen, I could have easily injured myself doing that." And I stood up and I said to Mrs. Angry, like, "Oh, don't do that." That was like I was not far off hurting one of my fingers. And yeah, then the person who was coaching us came up and said, "Don't stop a ball with your hand, stop it with your foot, because it's really easy to fuck up your fingers doing it." Yes. Now that's real comedy, strictly Sega. Comedy is when I fall on my chair screaming Jesus, oh my god. That is high comedy. Um everyone laugh at the drunk old guy who almost kills himself just trying to perform the simple act of getting out of a chair, and I almost kill myself. For fuck's sake. Honestly. Honestly, what the fuck was that? Ugh. Anyway, I'm due a shot for the last time I mentioned how much my fucking finger hurts. Because it really fucking does. And pour some of my liqueur. I'll make some more of this soon. That means making some more of the base sugar syrup as well. Did I try? I did try the rum, didn't I? In the barrel? I was going to do something. Okay, I maybe you need to make a purchase of. I want to do a barrel aged version of my cocktail of the year, the Quadrant, but I need to get some more of a particularly beverage to do it. So if you want me to use the breathalyzer, again, like it doesn't fucking work, but I'm going to guess how accurate it is based on. Yes, I did try the whiskey. I think I tried the rum because the rum was at 2 weeks on Friday night. And it's like, that's good, but the whiskey is really good. I love that could be my shot for mentioning the. Okay, this particular moment, it's not hurting. What's it saying? Thinking. 0.14. Honestly, this might be one of the times when it's kind of accurate. I don't think I'm that pissed. That's 3 times over the limit. Most of the time, I think it errs with too low a reading. I think that one was too high. Every time someone says try the breathalyzer, you stress out that you haven't sent me a better one. I still think it's funny that you got me this one because I mentioned I'd been at the post office and they had a little electronic breathalyzer and maybe I should get. Oh shit! I just dropped it. All right, you know what? I'm too coherent for 0.14 to be accurate. Honestly, 0.14 is pretty fucking pissed. That is legit Tim Smith. I forget what his reading was. Let's look it up. Tim Smith drink driving. What was his let's see. God, someone was selling a bit of fence that Tim Smith crashed into from the ABC. God, the guy's so 0.0131. That was a Tim Smith reading. 0.013, and that was 0.014. So yeah, that was a proper Tim Smith reading. Laurie got a counter story, visited a friend in the US, took a walk around the neighborhood, watched people playing baseball. Why did you join? Said, sure. Asked if you had a baseball mitt, didn't need one. Utterly amazed when I caught a ball because cricket, yes. Yeah, I did drop the breathalyzer. What would be great for my background? Anyway, I am going to try the barrel whiskey and the barrel rum. My infinity of both of those, smoothing them out a bit. Let's do this. Ugh. Okay, so this is rum. Has been in since the 24th of October. A little bit of that rum. And the whiskey's been in for a week longer. It's been in since the 17th. Okay, so first is whiskey, second is rum. Actually, I'm going to trace the rum first because of this. So, okay, what's the actual date we're up to now? The 9th. Okay. Rum. Yes, I definitely, because I'm instantly remembering this. I talked about this is not so much like the funky rum, the rums that taste like overripe banana or pineapple. This is the molasses. This is the dark brown molasses flavored. It's fucking nice. Okay. So that's what the rum's doing. It's being very smoky molasses flavored. The whiskey, on the other hand, oh my God, that's so fucking nice. So smooth. Maybe that's turning a bit. I think it might be time. Okay, I think I'm not going to do it now. Maybe next stream, maybe Wednesday, I'm going to decant the whiskey. It's fucking good though. Does he think he might take the rest of the year off? Off work? Okay. Why not? Strictly saying you're just replaying the Shuey gif. I gotta share it. Although it's just there on the Discord. New Year's Eve showy on my old leather boot. That was cider, I think. For midnight on New Year's Eve. In my old leather boot. I haven't worn those boots in forever. Oh, what a bad man. Sorry, a meme from Dr. Abigail on the Discord. Women talking. I wonder why we live longer than men. Yeah, me too. Guy saying, my co-worker carries a taser. She says she doesn't let men hold anymore because they immediately attempt to shock themselves to see if they can take it. I found this out when I asked her to see it, fully intending to shock myself. I would not do that. And Rain just answered straight away going, I'd do that. We have beanbags at the office, so I could just do it from sitting in a beanbag. Oh my God. Yeah, the face was pretty good, actually. So yeah, that's not bad. I did. Okay, no, I swear, I cleaned the boot. I really did. Safa, was that last New Year? Because I've done it 2 years. No, that was 2 years ago because last year Dr. Abigail was actually here on New Year's Eve. So that must have been 2 years ago. So, Justin, if you're going to move on the 16th, you're just going to take the rest of the year. Laura, is that in reference to me saying it's been barrel? It doesn't go off, but sometimes it can take on too much flavor of the barrel. You can get too sort of woody or whatnot. So it's not off just now. Okay, so that was last year you cut out, Doc. Okay, so that was the most recent one. And Laura saying we've talked about before, image search, why do women live longer than men is usually hilarious. Yes. Was it really a normal shoot? I thought I did it in the boot 2 years in a I don't remember. I thought I did it in the boot 2 years in a row. Up to yeah, it's time to go. I'm gonna have a sip of this. Even though at the moment my finger's not hurting. But it comes and it goes. So Justin, it is always a possibility. I think definitely when you're settled, we want to have a weekend in-person thing for people who are up to it. Safa might come from the country. Pat might come from the country. I think at the very least we should do that. Have an in-person thing on the weekend. Dude, sounds like a version of men die before women because they want to. No, men die before women because they do stupid hold my beer stuff. Also, I'm definitely not going into the office because because the degree to which I spent half the day going, wow, my hand really fucking hurts. I would just be putting people off in the office, just spending time going, fuck, this really fucking hurts. So I'm just going to stay at home. And it's way less stressful to stay at home. Laura, you fractured your wrist a couple of times. 2 a.m. throb that's worse. Yeah, well, as I was saying, twice last night I woke up. Do I have to do another drink? Okay, I'll do another drink. I don't have a briefcase. I have like a shoulder bag. Yes, common last words from a man. Here, hey fellas, watch this. Yeah, the variations. Hey, watch this. Hold my beer. Yeah. There's some self-destructive, nihilistic things that run through men. It varies from person to person, of course, but look at what I got here. I was still trying. Oh, there is a teeny bit more clarified drink in here. Ooh, okay. See that? I made this with cocoa and whatnot. So, what does this taste like? Probably not good. Looks like poop. Any parents will know this baby poop look? That's not bad, honestly. Wow, I actually expected that to be bitter and nasty. It is not bad. Okay, I'm going to just add a bit of that clarified drink to this clarified drink. Have during the week. Put that in there. Pour that in there. Just a little bit, but you know, every little bit counts. I might actually, point the first, I might save that chocolate stuff. That could be an interesting treat. But also, I might make more of it. I might make another chocolate clarified drink. So I get that. What's going on here? You looked up New Year's on my channel, and there's a couple of half-naked women dancing with a skull on their shoulder. Okay, I must have been drunk. I don't remember having such a good New Year's Eve. I had half-naked women dancing with a skull on their shoulder. Fuck did I miss out on? God damn it. Must have been a good New Year's. I don't remember it. Look, you damaged your coccyx a couple months ago. Oh yeah, no, coccyx is a terrible thing to injure. It's so fucking vulnerable to injury. Your tailbone. All right, so I'm super hoping. It's so weird. Every now and then, I get a really weird sensation in my hand, and I go, "What? Oh, I'm trying to separate those two fingers." I belatedly recognize I'm trying to separate those two fingers, and of course, I can't. They're very tightly bound up. I was like, "Okay, that feels weird." And I'm going to leave this. I'm going to eat the cherries. Because I love the cherries. Mm. Oh my God, they're so fucking good. I love these cherries so fucking much. I'm going to juice this blood orange tomorrow to decide what I'm going to do with it. Probably won't just drink the juice. Maybe use it in another coffee. I don't know. Cordial. I don't know. Mm. Oh my God, I love those cherries so fucking much. They are so good. Mm. And yes, Safi, you're right. After eat cherry, it is Sleepy Bobos. Well, I do have an alarm set for tomorrow, but I'm not going into the office. I had a good sleep in today, but you know what? If I have trouble, like if I have trouble sleeping and if I feel fucked during the day, then I'm going to go to the GP, and it will be to get a fucking certificate to take some paid days off work. We'll see how I go tomorrow. So, you're talking about 2012 End of the World Survival Competition. Wait, okay, before I go to bed, I have to look that up. That sounds vaguely familiar. And I super want to know when I was hanging out with half naked women. Because I feel like I'm missing out not remembering that. View my channel. Search 2012. Oh, what the fuck? End of world. 2012 is 2012 the end of the world? End of the world survival kit, not the end of the world. So there's one with Eva. No. So many end of the world things. Zombie apocalypse. Oh, okay. So, okay, Strictly Sega posted a screenshot on the Discord. That's on Less Angry Aussie, I think. That is a New Year's Eve party I went to. I recognize the image. That was a New Year's Eve party. Noog, you remember 2012, finished secondary school, Olympics had a politician presenting, medal booed by the crowd. People thinking the world was going to end. Yeah, a complete misrepresentation of how the Mayans ran calendars. But yeah, I recognize the image. Strictly Sega put it on the Discord. That's from a new, what was it called? I know Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer was there, which is why I went. But it was a good New Year's Eve. Yeah, it was a slightly raunchy. It wasn't the performers weren't completely sexual, but they were a bit raunchy, is what I'll say. Wait, what are we doing here? View my channel. More, 3 more links. Oh God, is my Zazzle start? Okay, I just quickly. This is really old links. Is my Zazzle site still live? Yes, you can still get Angry Aussie shirts on Zazzle. What a hoot. Okay, so put the actual link on there now. Okay, I am going to show a little bit of this just before I go to bed. So you can see the New Year's Eve I went to. I don't know why this didn't show up when I did a search on my channel, but Strictly Sega did the hard work.
Eve, and it was called the Trash Masquerade Ball.
That was it.
Hosted
I thought
by
it was
Neil
Trash
Gaiman
something.
and
Trash
Amanda
Masquerade.
Palmer at Revolt Productions here in Melbourne. Video running of it behind me during this. Although it's daylight, it's really hot, and so I'm not having my studio lights on. Daylight's coming. I've got the door open, so you'll probably hear ambient noise, birdies, and maybe cars and stuff.
Yeah,
because
people were
it's
wearing
hot. Yeah,
saucy
it's
stuff.
Australian, so
I
it's gonna
wasn't
be
so
40.
much.
It's 40 in some parts of Australia today. It's only 35 Celsius today. It's going to be 40 tomorrow. So we're having some hot weather, typical for this time of year. So the 90s with the Sandman comics.
Look at being a bit raunchy.
So this was this is probably the high point of my nerd life, actually getting to sit down with Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer.
And a very short video for my YouTube channel. High point of my nerd life was Amanda Palmer and Neil Gaiman.
Probably Neil Gaiman under the
Probably. Unlikely to be surpassed, Nerdvana. That's all I've got to say.
And I'm not one for New Year's resolution.
But yeah, okay. Back before I knew Neil Gaiman was a fucking monster and Amanda Palmer was a bit of a head case. Anyway, going to bed now. So thank you, fine and funky folk, for hanging out with me. We'll see how my night goes. I'm planning next stream Wednesday night. Probably, I don't know if I'll be making any. I've actually found a bunch of cocktails I want to make for short videos. So I might make short videos. Like I made a long one tonight. I might make short ones next week because I've got stuff scheduled to way into January. Might make some short ones. So I rescheduled everything on my channel. So there's only one large format video, longer video each week, which goes up on Thursday. Actually, I think it's Friday morning, Australian time, Thursday, North American time, where most of my viewers are. Thirsty Thursday, we're going to call it. So I've just got one longer video every Thursday, but then 2 shorter videos during the week because the shorts are very easy to make. So I think I might, spend a week or 2 just making some shorts. Oh yeah, no, Palmer and Gaiman had a very bad falling out in COVID, and it turns out it was because of his horrible behavior. Oh, sorry. Okay, Laura, you posted something on Discord. Also, that is okay. I'm going to share this truly horrific image to go with the text. Looks like poop. Parents will know the baby poop look. And it looks like I'm enjoying baby. Oh, that's so unsettling. Thank you, Laura. That's awesome. 3 a.m. for you, Jude. House is waking up. You haven't been to sleep. Welcome to seniors. Just passing 10 p.m. here. I'm going to go to bed. Last night I woke a couple of times feeling like I was in terrible pain. Who knows what will happen tonight? I'm hoping by Wednesday it's settled down to the point I'm not complaining about the pain all the time, but we shall see. So you'll take care. I'll see you another time, but bye for
are totally